Welcome to Working Dogs and Whiskey. Join Sean White and Jonathan Moses as they pour a glass and dive into insightful and fun conversations about dogs in all their incredible roles. So grab your favorite drink and let's raise a glass to great stories, laughs, and a whole lot of dog talk.
All right, welcome back to another episode of Working Dogs and Whiskey. I'm Sean White. I'm sitting here with my friend, co-host Jonathan Moses, and today we're starting out the new year. Well, originally we were going to have an episode about our New Year's resolution, all that shit, but then we figured nobody wants to hear that. So we're going to start this out with a very special guest. We have with us Mr. Justin Rigney. How are you, man?
Good, guys. How are you?
Good.
I'm good.
Just glad to have you on. Truly is a pleasure, man, for you to take time out just to speak with us and be on the podcast. So we appreciate it.
My pleasure, for sure.
Yeah. So real quick, man, we already talked about it beforehand. We're going to kind of skip the origin story. If people don't know you by now, I'm sure they can figure it out.
But, living under a rock.
Yeah, basically. But we did have some questions from our Instagram page, and we're going to go ahead and kick it off with that because
Right
I have ADHD and I'll forget it by the time we get through. So
living parallel lives, brother.
See, somebody gets it. All right, so I'm just going to go down the list real quick, and we'll see where it takes us from there. Easy day. All right, so the first question, let's see, first come, first serve. There we go. All right. So we'll leave the names out because we didn't get as many questions as we thought, and I think people are afraid to get blocked.
It's a very good possibility, man.
So we'll leave the names out of it, so you're safe. All right. So the first question is, what methods do you use for intro to building searches?
You know, I teach the pattern in very low drive. Almost every behavior that I can, I teach behaviors in very low drive. And I think if we use a lot of old school techniques where we're spinning the dog up, putting them in a hysterical state of drive, you know, putting them into hunting behavior and hope that they have something systematic and they investigate seams like you need them to do for building searches, I think it leads to kind of not only like establishing the task in the dog's brain with a shit ton of fucking hysterical, chaotic mindset approach, like leaking bad. And I think it could lead to a lot of problems lifelong for the dog. So long story short, man, we used to use the USPCA boxes, and I would teach them to investigate the seams of the boxes. Like we had little cutouts. It was almost like, it was like PVC board kind of material, but it had like a little shelf almost where I put hot dogs. I put direct food reward in those seams. It has nothing to do with building searches in the beginning. It's just creating value to seams. And we'd have the dogs wrap each box, you know, and it'd be almost like a chase game because these dogs are, you know, they're a year old. The vendors are telling you they're 14, 16 months. They're probably fucking 9 or 10 months. And we would just have somebody ahead of the dog just laying food in the seams, man. It'd be just like this little circus chase game. The dog would do, we'd click, mark. And then we start to progress through each box and eventually teach the dog to search 6 boxes. And then one day, I like surprising the dog's nose with target odor. And, you know, throughout the whole process of a school is the dog getting acclimated to target odor. And you can't shut a dog's nose off. So every time they're on the bite table, behind the fence, doing exposure shit for biting, there's that target odor going through their nose. And of course, it's linked to not only human odor, but it's jute. It's the entire scent picture of the human. So all those things the dog's taking into account involuntarily. It's just getting impacted in their olfactory system. The dog's doing the math in their brain. And then all of a sudden they make the approach to do the box search. They maybe search a box or two and all of a sudden say box 3. Bang, that shit hits them in the fucking face. And the thing with conditioning is that you cannot undo conditioning, meaning you can't control the physiological and the emotional response to that stimulus. So it's like this awakening, man. It's like an eruption. And what led them there was a very methodical behavior of investigating seams, slowing your roll, getting there. Now, of course, as you start to do more and more, there's going to be a bite in the box and the dog starts to build up a lot of hope. And of course, we're going to open up the valve of stimulation where the animal's going to start like having a lot more fucking drive to do that task, but it's going to be in a process where they've learned to do that systematically and open up that valve of stimulation where they can actually handle it. And then it end up working on a really nice balance of drive, but with a lot of capping and clarity too.
No, that's good. And I like what you said about just making it clear for the dog, like not because I know old school for my background, dealing with a bunch of military was to put them in this high end states of drive and show them, the bad guy with the whatever equipment you're going to use and spin them up and get them all routes. And then on the back end, you're expecting them to, like you said, methodically use their nose, which from my experiences, high arousal doesn't complement, methodical search pattern very well. So,
No,
it's just,
it's why I'm not a huge fan of the fire tracks and the runoff system.
yeah,
It's the same shit. There's a lot of guys that have developed cult followings for that kind of shit, man. And there are other dogs out there that can see a visual stimulus, like get put in a high state of arousal. The decoy takes off running into the woods, loses sight, and can they transfer from their eyes to their nose? Some, maybe. But tracking is a fucking nose game, man. So why even put the eyes in it? And when you're going to be constantly fighting the dog to take it out. Now that shit works in the woods. That shit don't work in the hoods, man. Like maybe that fucking 1% dog can, but for me, it's a no go. And a lot of the bark fence shit that we do, and we got introduced by Eric, and everything comes down to a lot of these dogs having control issues, leaking like a motherfucker, can't regulate their emotions, can't shut the fuck up, is due to prey barking. And the dogs are habituated in prey barking, which simply means that these dogs have a visual stimulus. Like if you guys watch a lot of the build-up work from Europe, or maybe you guys are in the military, you have some of the dogs that were bred on campus with the DOD. It's a lot of that spin-up work, man. They're on a fucking back tie. It's line agitation. The dogs are loaded out of their fucking minds. They're spinning, they're jumping, they're screaming hysterically in prey, which is unnatural for a predator to do. There's no fucking predator that's going to bark at a fucking wolf's not barking at a fucking elk to make his shit harder. It becomes unnatural. Then, of course, we reinforce that behavior over and over and over. The fuck ton of repetition history gets deeply woven into their DNA. And the dog approaches every training environment, every deployment in a hysterical state of fucking mind. And then cops love to fucking get dragged around by a flat collar or a harness or a fucking choke chain, which is tapping an opposition reflex 10x the fucking everything we just discussed. So you fight the dog's entire career for that shit. So for me, and a lot of folks don't get it, man. And the more we're trying to preach the gospel with the bark fence and prey barking and shit, some people are wrapping their heads around it, but people believe that screaming, the fucking dog, like hysterically fucking screaming is drive, man. And it's an expression of energy, but it's pure chaos.
I know I've talked to a couple people, not going to name anybody, a couple different handlers, and they've watched your bark fence. And they're like, oh, yeah, we got to get that barking. We need the barking. We're trying to get the dog all spun up. I'm like, that's not the goal.
Right.
That is not the goal of the bark fence.
It's not. I mean, it's one component. Trust me, I've won a lot of steak dinners with handlers come and say, my fucking dog's a mute. He can't bark, which is natural because they're in prey lock. And then, of course, we get them behind the fence, tap into some barrier aggression, and then they're fucking chatty. And we eat good.
While we're on the topic of tracking, I do want to segue one question. I know Sean's got all the Instagram questions written down. He's pretty good about keeping us organized on that. I got one while we're talking about it with the tracking specifically, just how you see it applying like on the street and practical application and kind of what that looks like.
Of all the training applications that are out there, not all the systems, I would say detection and tracking have the most diverse, man. There's just so many different ways and, different strokes for different folks. And, every dog's not going to excel in one system. So having a lot of tools in your toolbox is important. Overall, and I've competed in sport. I've done a lot of sport tracking over the years. IGP and Schutzen was my foundation work. So there's a lot of shit that I steal from those worlds. But as far as putting food directly on tracks, man, I think there's other ways to go about it. Of course, proofing can happen and you can get dogs away from that. But for me, it's the dick stall system. Like anything, I always give credit where credit's due, man. I've never invented shit in dog training, man. I don't think like that. But I'm an absolute fucking very good thief of intellectual property, man. Like I can steal some shit. I can, the longer you do this shit, you can kind of analyze something. Like a lot of times for whatever reason, man, I don't even have the volume up on my phone. Like I'm watching reels and shit or whatever the fuck. Sometimes I'll put that shit up if it looks interesting, but I don't need to hear it. Like I can see it. I can take things that I'm seeing on a screen and kind of put it in my brain and say, hey, I understand the technique they're trying to apply. I could see the good parts, the bad parts. I can steal that, take that, and tweak it. But as a whole, man, I brought Dick Stahl over twice several years ago. And I've been retired 8 years, man. And I got booted out of canine fucking 9 years ago. So we're looking at 10, 11 years ago when I brought him over. And such an amazing, humble dude, bro. And the system is brilliant, but simple. And it really is a system that teaches the dogs to fucking vacuum pavement and really shitty and contaminated conditions, man, like on a hard surface. I know Eric uses a lot of the hydro tracks, man. He puts water down, which I think could be a big benefit for the handler and the dog. It could be a little checkpoint for the handler to see that saturation on the pavement. But as a whole, like it's a deep dive into the system. There's a lot of moving parts to it. And I actually have an online tracking course coming out with DIY Canine. It was supposed to be out, ran into some tech issues, but I would imagine the next week or two, it should. Imagine that. Right. It's a long class, man. It's 2 days. I filmed with Garrett Wing and down to Pasco County, a lot of different teams from different parts of different experience levels and tracking. So that should be out soon. But it, as a whole, man, you know, it's a lot of different moving parts. And I think what's really solidified a lot of it for me is that I've overlaid electronics to the system. Where Dick Stahl's, he's an e-collar guy, I believe, but he doesn't apply electronics or doesn't apply corrections or boundaries in tracking. And I think the things that we experience on the road and in here in our environment, we need to be able to have that proofing process and keeping the dogs on task.
Nice. I see a lot of guys, they don't want to do hard surface tracking. Like if the guy's not running through the woods, there's not heavy vegetation, they will not put the dog on the ground.
Yeah, that's how it used to be, man. But now, bro, it's like, you know, I got a lot of drone videos of training. I don't have a whole lot of, I got a bunch of helicopter bites from, you know, the infrared, but I don't have a whole lot of like boring shit. So it's probably archived, but the dogs can absolutely fucking vacuum pavement with long time delays, man. And, you know, when I was in South Florida, I brought Dick Stahl over twice. And I think one of them was like April, May, or March, man. And I'm like, it was warm for him. It was nice weather for us. And I'm like, how long do you think that odor is readily available on fucking pavement in August in South Florida? He's like, it's not like a minute. So there's factors too, man. And, you know, of course, again, we go back to that story, tracking and drive, man. And those brutal elements of South Florida, man, if you're fucking running and gunning, doing fire track bullshit and the dog comes out of the car tracking like a fucking kite, like you're going to get like 2 backyards out of him and he's done. So again, the methodical process is not only very detailed, we catch a lot more people, but it's energy conservation too.
All right. Just so we don't forget, I'm going to move on to the next question, unless John, you got something?
I say go ahead and hit the Instagram question. If he kind of hops on a topic for one of these questions, I'll throw it in there.
We'll spider.
Yeah, I think this is I think we kind of already touched on it, but the next question was, how do you balance emotional neutrality with drive expression? And I know that's kind of a vague one, so I'm not sure, Justin, if you want to put that into a scenario of some sort.
Well, I think it comes down to the leaking and capping conversation, man. And you know, the girl that works for me, Rebecca, she's a phenomenal trainer. She's a rising star. I think she's been at it about 3 or 4 years, but we got a young puppy for her at 8 weeks old from Delafuco, which is, you know, one of the top domestic breeders of Mal's and Shepherds. And a lot of those dogs want to come out. I bet you they're fucking screaming on the titty, bro. They're fucking very vocal creatures, man. They have a lot to say. They're lit. They're loaded. They're very, what we call low threshold, which doesn't mean strong or weak. It just means the onset of stimulation is really, really fucking low. He was looking for a reason as a puppy, man. I remember when he was about 4 months old, man, we were doing restrained recall where I was holding him on a flat collar. Rebecca took off holding food and he couldn't get to her. So he flipped around on me and said, I'm gonna fuck with you, bro. And we had to have a conversation. Like he's a throwback and he's the type of dogs that I grew up on, man. I've been at this 33 years, 34 years. And the dogs were Neanderthals back then. You couldn't fucking break them, man. They would correct you very fucking quickly. So I learned a lot of shit dealing with dangerous dogs, very strong dogs, and he's a throwback. But long story short, man, we didn't let that little fucker bark at all until he was 8 months old behind the fence. And had we let him bark and leak, he would have been a fucking mess. And again, people mistake that hysteria for drive. And actually, these videos are not. He just turned a year, maybe last month. So a lot of the Puppy Foundation videos are coming up as Facebook memories, and I'm starting to post and repost them again because there's a lot of value to what we did with him. And it's simple, man. We're doing rag work, and I have a very strategic way that I do puppy bite development with a rag. But long story short, like Rebecca's cradling him under his chest, like the little tippy toes are just about touching the ground, his back feet are on the ground, and he's squirming like a motherfucker, screaming, and she's holding until eventually he just settles for a second, send him for the bite. And what that does, it's a self-capping drill. He's restrained, he can't go forward, but obviously at 8, 10, 12 weeks doesn't know shit. But that teaches him to self-regulate. And that's been very beneficial now throughout his process of learning to maintain high levels of drive. Like, people are scared to do that because they think that leakiness is fucking drive, and it's not. So that's the thing, starting them young. And I know a lot of folks, whoever your listening base is, if there are a lot of handlers, they're getting their dogs at a year plus, and that shit's already conditioned in their brain deeply. So I think we can do a lot of the same drills, man. And some of it's patience, man, is just waiting them out. If you're chasing a clock, we can put a little dominant slip lead pressure on them. Like, we can put them on a back tie, flat collar, dominant slip lead under the chin going towards the decoy, or even somebody holding a bite wedge that's on the ground. And the dog, it's a little bite roll that's attached to a sleeve leash that's about 4 feet long, and the pillow is just dead. And of course, the dog's habituated and fucking screaming. We just put a little fingertip pressure on that slip lead going towards the biting surface. It's going to create a little opposition. They're going to back up. Mechanically, the slip lead shuts the fucking mouth, and it's like Xanax. Where e-collars and prong collars are like giving someone who's got anxiety cocaine, man. It's like giving them a bump and they're fucking lit, right? But that little process can settle them just for a split second on dead prey. They shut the fuck up, they settle, poof, you kick it to them, and you let them bite. Of course, there's outing and other things we can trade, hopefully, but little games like that, just installing capping. Sometimes we mechanically cap the animal with the tools. We can mechanically cap an animal with obedience. There's no better form of capping than like organically, like self-regulating yourself by like, I'm fucking lit, and all of a sudden I just fucking settle with no influence from tools, no influence from humans, and then it's deeply conditioned and they get it.
I think that's going to kind of answer another question I had for Handler. He was just saying, how do you keep your dog focused on the street? Every time he's going up to a house or they're about to do a SWAT hit or something like that, this dog's turning around, tearing his ass up, putting teeth on him, and he's trying to stay focused on the house, person coming out. But I think what you just described kind of solves that problem for him.
Nah.
No?
Nah, bro. Like, this opens up a whole nother fucking like can of worms, bro. But I'm about
to do it.
I'm about to do a video series called Canine Kevorkian, bro. Like, you remember who Dr. Kevorkian was, though?
Yeah.
Assisted suicide motherfucker. Like, bro, these dogs are biting people, like handlers, like they need to fucking go somewhere. Like, sometimes this earth ain't the place for it. Like, when it comes to that type of aggression, bro, like there's no fixing that shit. There's mitigation and management, and the systems that we're talking about. And I've got videos that I've posted that get a lot of fucking hate, a lot of engagement, a lot of blocking, because I'm very much that person that will be the first person aligned to put life-saving pressure on a dog to save its life, but also a handler. And it's a difficult process, man. And the dogs are very fucking savvy, bro. They understand when they're being set the fuck up, Like, a lot of that, I talked about settling the dog with a bite pillow in front of it. Well, we're getting handler aggression. We do put dogs on the fucking fence, and we're not even using fence techniques. Just the fence ends up being a really good way to keep people safe. That will set the same setup. The dog's inside the fence on a back tie, flat collar harness, dominant slip lead going through the fence. Dog's on E. The handler that's getting fucking nuked is wearing a rubber prosthetic limb. Right. And that's what normally happens. It's redirected. Sometimes it's calculated by a dog. They want to fuck the handler up to get free and go forward. Or sometimes it's just like this form of canine Tourette's, bro. Like, it's this out of body experience. They don't even fucking know they're doing it. And that's actually a little bit better deal sometimes. It just depends. But long story short, we put the dog in that state of arousal. And a lot of times it's when there's back pressure on the line. So if the dog's going forward and hitting the line themselves, no problem. But as soon as they believe they're getting removed from the training environment, like, bad guy gets handcuffed or some shit and the dog doesn't get a bite, and he's like, no, motherfucker, I'm getting mine. And he turns and spins. And then it's human nature, like the handler yips or gives some kind of information that says, okay, you're impressive, you're powerful, and they get redirected on. So we recreate that on the fence. We put a little back pressure as a rubber prosthetic is in the dog's peripheral. So the dog spins and sees that arm, and he probably hasn't been conditioned to it. He does believe in his brain it's the handler. And then we have a very clear conversation with the animal. That's a very bad idea. That could be a life-altering decision to not go down that fucking road again. Does it work? It's maybe 50-50. And of course, it's contextual to training. Then we have to put that back in a real world-ish type of environment, which is very difficult because no matter what we're doing in training, we can never recreate the hormonal signature from good guys and bad guys, bro. We just can't. You could do PT, bro, get your heart rate fucking jumping, do all kinds of dumb shit, but you're missing that chemical signature, man. You're missing that hormonal picture to the animal's nose that they're very receptive to. So they know the difference. But to generalize that exercise of handler aggression from the fence to the real world, what we do is we create like a pig pile scenario, bro. Like there's like a decoy laying face down in a suit in the corner of a room, 5 or 6 cops laying the fucking boots to him. But what he's done, he's laying on top of a flexi leash. The flexi leash is extended all the way out to the fucking door. And obviously you have about 25 feet of play. So you got to set this up the right way. And it's kind of wrapped on the door handle. Handler runs fucking code, bro. Gets that dog dizzy, fucking hopefully gets him hopped up in the back of the car where he's losing his shit. Makes his approach. As he enters the room, he hooks the flexi leash to a dominant dog collar, right? Brings the dog up on a flat like he's going to staple him on the leg or some shit and then pulls him away. As he's pulling him away, you may see that flashback behavior. The dog fucking spins. Now you have to have a very good decoy that's very good and well-versed on a flexi to operate that fucking break. So as soon as he starts backing out, he sees the dog spin, the decoy sets the hook on the brake, and then the handler pulls against that fucking collar to do mitigation and restriction of blood and oxygen to kind of flash back to the fence. And rinse and repeat. You keep doing that shit, you bring the dog in for a staple, pull him away. And when the dog says, I fucked that shit, I've got blinders on, I'm very vigilant to the bad guy, then you fucking give him a grit. You let him bite. So again, man, it's a training environment. We cannot recreate the chemistry. Those are little things I do. And some, it's like 50-50, man. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't.
No, it's good. So I want to circle back. There's probably like 5 or 6 things that you said in there, but with I don't think a lot of people understand that. Like what you said, the Pavlovian conditioning of like dogs seeing people getting or apprehended and like put in cuffs, and that's like an in signal kind of for the dog, and that's why those behaviors come out. Could you talk just a little bit more in depth of like different situations like that where handlers may not recognize from the dog's perspective?
Yeah, I think, there's a lot of reasons why, man. There's, the dogs are different today. Back in the day, it was not uncommon for where Eric and I came from for handlers to retire their dogs with north of 100 bites. Like it was very fucking common, bro. We got a lot of fucking work. South Florida's a Grammy ass place. Up until 2008, bro, there was the world was behind us. Our fucking lineups were like a pregame pep rally. It was just fist bumping. Let's go get these motherfuckers, bro. Like if you didn't fight or bite, don't come back. That kind of shit. It was a very cool time to be a fucking cop and work a dog. So the dogs had a lot of experience, and there's no higher state of arousal than a very experienced police dog that has been habituated in biting fucking bad guys. The highest level fucking PSA sport dog is a fucking kitten, bro, compared to a well-seasoned patrol dog that's fucking murked some people out in the street. So dealing with that high level fucking arousal, bro, is very fucking difficult, man. And part of my protocol was like, we dog bite a motherfucker, bro. We'd take him to the hospital. The sergeant would show up and take pictures of us and him and do the use of force report. If the radio permitted, we were right back at the office on the bite table doing outs. Like, if you don't stay relevant in the fucking dog's brain, bro, they will short circuit. And sometimes it happens either way. Like my last patrol dog, man, I think he had about 13 something bites when I got booted out. And as much as I understand about dog training and capping and managing emotions and impulse control, that dog was heading down a very fucking dark path, man. He was a very dangerous animal. I was in a shooting with him. Like he lived to fucking hurt people. And sometimes the wires arc in their brains, bro, and there's no coming back. And when they get to that point, man, there's no, again, we talked about it earlier, man, there's no fixing that shit. And as cops, man, we're like fucking rescuers and we think we can fix everything. And that's our job, bro. It's going into people's houses and fixing shit that's taken 15 years to fuck up in 15 minutes. Like we have that mindset, but sometimes it's beyond that, bro. Beyond that. When I travel and I train with folks, bro, with different agencies, like I catch myself getting caught up in the moment. I'm like I did a class for Maricopa County Sheriff's Office, man. That's out in Phoenix, Arizona. And You remember that sheriff's office that used to put the inmates in fucking pink jumpsuits and shit? They lived in tents in the desert and shit. That was that age. They don't do that shit no more, but really good dudes, man. They had 2 motherfucking dogs, bro, that I could not get them quiet. And we're training right outside their jail. Like, they have dual purpose dogs in the jail. I'm like, you guys are gonna fucking book me into this place if I keep going. Knowing when to say when, bro. Like sometimes it's just we go too far, or we have to go too far to make sense of these dogs, man. And the problem is, like, those dogs are different now, man. So you don't see those animals as much. Like those throwback dogs, like a lot of folks don't know how to deal with that shit. So they don't recognize the fucking warning signs. So there's a lot of pieces to that puzzle.
You think the dogs change for the better, or some things you would take, some things you'd leave, or you kind of miss those older dogs?
Yeah, fuck that older dog, bro. Like, it's a lot of work, man. That's it's the type of dog you want to take to fucking hunt the boogeyman, bro. But they're savage dogs, man. And my experience and how the dogs have changed and why they've changed is kind of has a couple different parts to it. And I was sitting in the police academy when that first plane hit the tower on 9/11, bro, and it was fucking tragic time. And the second plane hit, we knew exactly what the fuck was up, and we never want to go back to that day, but bring me back to 9/12, bro. We were fucking embraced, But the reality of it is that when that point in time is that there became a massive amount of funding readily available for canine programs, for dual purpose, single purpose. So long story short, every breeder and vendor got in the fucking game. Like that Neanderthal dog, bro. Like, you could drop 2,500 fucking bucks, go to a KPV trial field in Holland, drop 2,500 fucking bucks. If you can get that bitch in a crate, on a plane, off the plane, out of the crate into your fucking kennel without getting murdered, bro, you're good to go. Strap a piece of shit e-collar to its neck, burn that thing into fucking some type of compliance without getting murdered, you're good. Get it through your bullshit state certification. Bro, there was tons of horsepower left to go hunt and eat on the street. Like, they had gas for days. You couldn't break these motherfuckers. And we are idiot cavemen, bro. Like, if our own dog didn't bite us, we didn't want that motherfucker. Like, that was the fucking mentality. So the other part is the dogs got much younger. So that dog was 2.5 years old, minimum, bro. Sometimes 3, and agencies didn't give a fuck. Now, because it's mass production, the vendors are telling you that they're 16 months, and there's no fucking way, bro. They're much younger. But the other big thing about this, bro, is, and I say this all the time, man, this doesn't matter who I'm speaking with. I do firmly believe that women make far better trainers than men for a lot of different reasons, man. They have the touch, they have the intuition, they have the ability to connect with a living, breathing creature. Like, yes, we're cavemen. We can lay the fucking Hulk smash down if we need to. But here's where it's changed. Like, women got into dog sport and started fucking crushing dudes. And they're doing it law enforcement too, man. Not just on the leash, but in the suit. Like, there's gals out there really doing it on both ends of the dog, man. And it's pretty wild to see. Like, my wife's a retired cop, 25-year veteran. She's my fucking hero. I got daughters, man, so I'm all about it. But as a whole, most chicks don't want the dog coming up the fucking leash. And while there's plenty that can lay the law down and not accept that shit and handle aggressive dog, as a whole, they don't really like that shit. So women getting into sport, they wanted a more user-friendly, handler-sensitive type of dog. So the combination of the vendors mass producing shit, the dogs getting younger, the sport world wanting a more user-friendly, handler-sensitive dog, it has truly forced us to adapt and evolve as trainers for the better. And that dog is better, man. I like the dog that's fucking sporty, that's social, that's stable, that checks all the boxes, but I got to make him a fucking criminal. That's for me. Like, this dude on my fucking arm here, bro, like, he probably had north of 70-something fucking bites. My daughter could have taken it. My daughters could have taken show and tell without me, bro. Give him his fucking belly on career day, and he dealt with some really bad motherfuckers. Like, that's the balance I'm looking for. My last dog, bro, anti-social. There's 2 people on this planet that could get their hands on him. It was me and my wife. Because we had him since he was a puppy, bro. But fuck that shit. I'm not going down that road again, bro. It's too much.
Yeah, no, I know. While we're on that subject, what is it like living with a dog of that caliber that's constantly basically an asshole, for lack of better words? And
he was so fucking fair with us. Like, my friends bought him from Europe, Germany at 10 weeks old. And I was involved with his life from up until about 4 or 5 months. He just started teething. They got busy. Long story short, I bought him at 7 months old. So I had an influence on his training and his life from a very young age. He was really my wife's dog. Like, he melted for her. I rented him to go to work, but he was always very fair. Like, he got me a couple times, once on a fucking felony stop. I fucking clubbed him and he fucking figured that out. The other time wasn't his fault, bro. We're in a very small shed going after a burglar, and he penetrates the shed. And out of the corner of my eye, I see the motherfucker like sucked into like just inside the door. So I start fighting with him, and he fucking got me first, and he spit me out pretty quickly and got the guy. But overall, very, very fair dog with me in the pack, but just a fucking savage. But I had to put him down because his fucking rear end went. His hips were shot, bro. The day I put him down, he's crawling across the yard trying to murk the fucking neighbor, like through the fence, bro. He just at 12 and a half years old. So it's very difficult finding, like, I had a setup here. Like I'm set up for it. I have a fucking compound where he can come and go and it's safe and secure. Rebecca took care of when I was out of town teaching. But it's a pain in the ass, bro. It's a pain in the ass at so many levels dealing with that kind of dog.
Yeah. All right. We'll keep moving down the line with the questions. Let's see. Okay. What do you look for if you were mentoring an upcoming dog trainer?
Openness, man. Trainability. The ability to be self-aware and to take constructive criticism, man. Like, you know, the bullshit that I do on the gram, it's not an act, bro. Like, we fucking clown all day long, bro. Like, if it ain't fun, we're not talking shit and breaking chops and making fun of each other. Like, I don't want no part of it. Like, just did a podcast with a buddy of mine recently. We talked about like the steps that we use in a patrol school, and we'd always finish the night doing obedience, food-based obedience. And we had this like screened-in porch at the facility, bro. That was like a cage match, bro. We'd fucking break each other's balls so bad. We had such a good time, but it was like hazing under pressure. So that's part of it, man. Just, you know, there's things in this game that you can't teach. There are a lot of mechanical aspects of dog training, but that's where a lot of cops and type A people, operators have a hard time because they're very mechanical type A. Like, this is an ebb and a flow, or it's a touch. And again, that's why I think gals have a better chance at making sense to an animal than we do as dudes. So I think the number one component is be coachable, you know, and to be able to understand and process that shit. And everybody processes things different. Everybody learns different, man. And a lot of people don't believe this shit when I say this, bro, but I cannot retain a fucking thing that I read, bro. I have a learning disability in reading and math. Like, math is even fucking worse. I was literally in fucking romper room in school. Like, I got in fist fights with teachers, bro. Like, it's a fucking wreck. I can't read shit, but if I hear it and put my hands on it, I can internalize it. Like, so not only from a person's standpoint, but as a coach or an instructor, you have to have that flexibility to meet people where they're at and communicate with them in a style of learning that they get. And people hit me up with a shit ton of DMs when I try to help folks. And a lot of times I'm like, bro, leave me a fucking voice memo because I can't read that novel. Like, I won't retain shit, and send me pictures and fucking crayons and shit. Like, but that as a whole, man, to circle back, like, I babble on shit, but that is the main thing, is be open and be coachable, really. And be fucking patient, man. That this young generation, bro, wants everything yesterday.
Yeah. Actually, we're gonna segue. Here we go. Now we're gonna get off track. But no, but seriously, like, because I'm noticing that with people that I work with now, and like, I want to get your opinion, Justin and John. I mean, you as well. But like, seeing things all the way through, because I've watched plenty of people train, and they'll do it for, I mean, at best maybe a day or two. And then they're like, oh, it's dog shit, it didn't work out, and they're onto this new hip thing, or they see something new,
Right.
and they're like, oh, I'm going to abandon this thing with this dog, and I'm going to move on to, you know, the next thing.
Yeah.
And I don't know why it irritates me, but I'm like, dude, you have not even, the dog doesn't even have a chance to understand or even pick up a pattern in the system, and now you're into a new thing. But anyways, I'm sorry. We'll take you, Justin, first, and then.
Well, you know, in today's swipe culture, bro, everything's a dopamine spike, bro. Everything has to be fucking shiny and new and attractive. It's got to work right away, or we just swipe the fuck on to the next thing. And, you know, your passion, your desire, like, brings you to this game, and it's what I call, like, it brings you to the edge of the trench, and you dive in head first in that trench, and the trench is full of experience and highs and lows, but the trench is full of fucking monotony, bro. It's just the same old fucking shit, repetitiously over and fucking over and fucking over. But for me, bro, I can get down on shit like a meth head, man. And my youngest daughter's on the spectrum, bro, highly functional, but she's like that too, bro. Like, if she can lock herself in her she's an artist, she can lock herself in a room for days and not come up for air, bro, until her project's done with art. We'll make her do some shit she don't like. She'll go kicking and screaming. But for me too, bro. When I'm interested in something, I can get down on some shit with some repetitions forever, bro. Like sometimes the dogs are like, all right, motherfucker, like enough. So again, it comes down to people's personalities, man. I just think that because things are so accessible, there's so much new shit. Like, and as a trainer doing this as a business, the pressure to produce content and just put new shiny shit out there, and no one's reinventing shit, bro. Like some people just put a spin and a twist on it, but I just do believe it's just that this is ADD swipe culture, bro. That just can't sit the fuck still and just sit in the monotony.
Yeah, I'll kind of piggyback on that because technically I'm an old man in a young body, but I fall into that generation. So we're like a microwave generation, right? Everything's got to be quick, it's got to be fast, and luckily for me, the only two things I seem to actually care about are dog training and business. So the two things I will obsess over and focus in extreme detail on. Everything else, I'm pretty much like I need it now. But I think you're right. A lot of it has to do with Instagram. It has to do like my kids flipped out the other day. They're 5 and 3. We were watching TV. Like you don't have cable anymore, but you can get the Spectrum app and you can watch like cable TV or whatever.
Yeah.
A commercial came on and they fucking panicked.
No shit.
They were like, "Oh, Dad, like it's gone. What happened?" And I was like, "What are you talking about?" They said, "Yeah, the show went away. What do we do? What do we do?" I said, "Guys, it's a commercial. Like the thing comes on for a little bit. It shows you some other stuff.
Yeah.
And it goes back." They'd never seen anything but Netflix. I tried explaining to my little brother when Netflix was CDs and you had to order your CD, wait a week for it to show up, hope it wasn't a shit movie, and then mail it back. And I think everything in today is set up to not go into good detail and focus, and it's a mess. And unfortunately, it kind of transfers into everything with dog training as well. I think I was lucky enough to catch that edge where I did have to wait a little bit. I think I've been tracking every day for the last 3 weeks, and I fucking love it. I'm like, I get 10 feet longer on the track, and I'm like, oh shit, there we go.
Yeah,
It's getting better.
For sure, man. Yeah, it's very telling, man, as a society, and then the inability to communicate, man, because these kids are fucking addicted to their devices too, though. It's part of it. It all falls into it, man. Like we're fucking doomed, bro. Now AI,
God,
yeah, it's good for face swapping and shit and blocking motherfuckers.
We seem to abuse that a lot.
It's gonna be tough.
No.
Did he kill me with the face swap videos?
Oh, bro,
Yeah.
it's so stupid.
No, but I think, and I mean, we'll hop off of that subject because we got a couple of things. But like for me, I think it's just people don't enjoy the process, and I'm like,
Yeah.
dude, and I tell them dog training is just like babies. Babies are dog shit ugly when they're born. I don't care, like they are, and it's ugly before it gets good, And I'm like, understand and be, but everybody's infatuated with the newborn baby. Most people, anyway, given conditions, but. But I tell other people that I'm like, dude, enjoy the process. Like, enjoy seeing the little micro wins and the incremental process getting over to the big result. Because for me, that's where it plateaus. I'm like, all right, now he can do it. He can out. He can do this down. Whatever. He can sit on odor. Whatever it is that you're doing. I'm like, for me, that's where the dopamine really just drops. It plummets.
Yeah.
And I don't think. I mean, I'll be 33 this year, so I'm not old by any means. So I'm like in the middle, I guess. But I don't see that with a lot of younger people. It's like once they get to that big result, that's what they want to achieve, or that's what they look forward to. And I'm like, dude, the stuff in between, like I'm constantly reminding them, look at where your dog was this morning or last week. You have to remember that shit, dude, and to value what these animals can do. But that's my little tangent on that.
Yeah, I've been I didn't get to tell you I was going to call you earlier, but I got super excited. So Eric's been like coaching me through his version of tracking with the hydration track and the Dick Stahl method. It's probably been like 3-4 weeks now. He talked me through it in Florida, and I've just been calling him and sending him videos. And I was so excited seeing like this little like minute progress. We did a 1/2-mile track today with high wind and surface changes, and I was so excited. Then I was like, shit, we're getting close to like a completed picture. I was like, fuck, like tracking's been so fun because it's been something new and just going through that process. And I'm like, damn, like I don't want to get to the end of this. I don't want there to be an end result. I want to keep doing this. And I don't know, I hate the end process. I love the process, but I hate the end result.
Yeah, I was the same way, bro. I played pro baseball once upon a time, man, and I like fucking practice more than the games. And like a choice, just for me, it was because there was more steady action, bro. Like So I don't know. It's hard to reach some folks.
I don't think kids play enough sports nowadays either. Like they're missing. God, I took my little brother. Well, get off this subject, but this generation's doomed. I took my brother outside because he's like, "Hey, let's play catch." I threw a ball to him, and we're trying to have a conversation while we're playing, and he missed the ball 4 times in a row. And he's like, still trying to talk to me. I said, "Hold on, motherfucker, can you not catch a ball?" He's like, I catch," and I'm like, "Here," and I throw it at him, literally like fucking lob it up in the air. Went right through his fingers. I'm like, "You need to touch some grass, dude. Like, get outside."
100%. All right. We'll move on. Let's see. The next question is how to handle fear stages in protection dogs, puppies / young dogs. So basically, the fear stage. How do you navigate that one?
Send them back to the vendor.
Easy day.
I don't. It depends on the application, bro. Like I've done a bit of breeding over the years, and like my first patrol dog was a Mal that I saw him born on my living room floor. And if let's say I produced 100 puppies in my breeding career, he's the only one I fucking kept, bro. Like they break your heart, man. They sometimes hit that fear stage, bro. I don't want to see it at all. Sometimes they fucking come through it. A lot of times they don't, bro. Like, I don't want that shit in their fucking DNA whatsoever. So if you are stuck with that fucking dog, bro, it's got to be that dog. Don't fuck with it, is my opinion. Like, don't do all this dumb trick shit to try to get him through. You're usually going to make it fucking worse. If God's plan is to let that shit balance out, it will. And a lot of times, the more you try to force him into shit, expose him to shit, it just usually has an opposite effect, man. So, like my lab, bro, she's probably 4 and change now. I got her when she was just about 5 months old, and like it's weird, bro. Like a bomb can literally go off next to her, and she won't give a fuck. But a certain tone or noise of like a groomer's dryer or like a leaf blower, she'll put on the brakes. Going from light transitioning to a dark room, she'll put the brakes on a little bit. And yeah, bro, could I have fucking dopamine boxed her or fucking made her do that kind of shit? And this sounds so counterintuitive, bro. Like this is a little cheat code. Again, it doesn't work for every fucking dog, but we talked about conditioning earlier and how a dog cannot control the emotional response to that stimulus. So we talk about clickers, right? Marking and clickers. Well, I started fucking with this, bro, and it worked for my lad. And every now and then, bro, I'll take her traveling when I go teach, and I'll pop her out of the car, and she'll go to take a piss and see a fire hydrant, be all like she thinks the fucking fire hydrant's going to kill her. And the old me wants to put a slip lead on her and fucking make her do a handstand on top of the fucking fire hydrant and say, you're going to stay there until you fucking get over it. But what I started doing is clicking that shit, bro. When she acts like a fucking hyena on a cat stick, click. And because the click is so supercharged, it's an immediate eruption of dopamine flowing through her veins, bro. She fucking snaps out of it. She flies to me indirectly. I throw a piece of food closer to the fucking fire hydrant. Click, release, and then before you know it, bro, she's running circles around that bitch, fucking jumping on it like a play sport. Again, it's not an absolute. There's no absolutes in dog training, but it sounds counterintuitive because people are saying, well, you're clicking her being a fucking weirdo. No, yeah, maybe technically dog training 101, but what I'm really doing is tapping into that powerful stimulus response to that clicker that can get her through it, man. So that may be the kind of shit you fuck with. And again, it depends on someone's lifestyle, bro. Like they live in an apartment and the dog's scared of fucking stairs and they're on the 3rd floor. Guess what? We're doing fucking multi-reps of stairs every motherfucking day. You have no choice. And bro, how many nerve bag dogs have you seen in New York City? Is it because there's good breeding programs in New York City? Fuck no, bro. They just get inoculated to the bullshit. So that's my short answer for that, bro. If it's a dog for a very specific working purpose, I don't want to see it. Bye-bye. If you're stuck with it, that's kind of my template.
That's good. Yeah, and I think that you brought up a good point as far as like where people can play devil's advocate in that realm of you're clicking for her being fearful and all that shit. And there's just no, like you said, there's no absolutes. Like there's, hey, play around, but always evaluate and assess, and see what you're getting out of it. If it's, the undesirable is starting to increase, and obviously, yeah, then that person would be right. If what you said, now the dog's like, oh, I see this, I get good feelings, and everything else, and the associations, then that's great. Then it works. But I think that's probably for me one of the bigger parts is understanding and knowing how to evaluate what you're doing. regardless of intent and everything, is what is the animal giving you? And then being able to, understand that and construct a new training plan if that's what has to come of it.
And it kind of depends on what they're fearful of too. Like if it's environmental shit, that's a big no-go for me, bro. But if it's like, let's say they're getting reactive with people and it's a little hackly, little weirdness, well, I can flip that script with some boogeyman shit, most likely. So it again depends on the end goal. It depends on the type of fear that you're seeing. There's a lot of moving parts to it.
John, you have anything, or you're good?
Yeah, I got another question from one of the handlers. So they just kind of wanted your spiel on working dog. Like, dog as a patrol car, it works. What does home life look like for you with let's say, a fairly well-balanced dog?
Jail. Yeah, bro, like there's some dogs that can do both. There's some dogs that can shut it off and be okay. Like I'll take these fucking handlers to go to a vendor, bro, and it's like this young generation, and it'll ask the vendor, like, is he good with kids? I'm like, shut the fuck up, bro. Hopefully he eats kids. Like, you want to see your fucking kids, bro. Shut the fuck up. Go sit in the car and I'll show you what dog you're getting. Like, because the bullshit that goes on in a house, like I can give you a million fucking horror stories, bro. I can give you like my agency we had at the time, bro, at 60 dogs. I think they're up to 90 now. Like, bro, the amount of comical fucking nonsense of dogs getting loose, fucking spouses getting fucking nuked by the dog, like dogs eating shit they shouldn't. It's just a recipe for fucking disaster. Now, the dog is with you fucking all fucking day long, bro. He's saturated in you. He needs energy conservation. He needs to get the fuck away from you. He needs to like absence makes the heart grow fonder kind of shit. But it's really the dog's security and not getting into shit. Like, bro, domestic violence fucking shit, bro. He doesn't need to hear that nonsense, bro. He doesn't need to hear you and your fucking wife bitching at each other. Like, he doesn't need that energy and that chemistry in his life. Like, let him go in his fucking office. Let him fucking saturate in that shit. Let him build up some steam and be bored. Like some dogs, like a lot of shepherds, man, sometimes they need to be on ice to get to work at the optimum level. So it has a lot to do with energy conservation, safety. You know, if you have a fucking man cave and it's just you and your dog a little bit, bro, okay. But not running loose in your fucking house where you got little ones and a spouse. Fucking doors get left open. It's human error. There's just way too many things that can fucking go wrong.
Oh, that's a good answer. That always kind of blew between, is he good with kids and can I get the black dog? When they go to evaluate dogs, those two things that fucking drive me crazy. Picking off fucking guy, I'm like, God, Jesus Christ. Everybody wants a black Malinois.
Really?
Yeah, dude, that's like it drives me fucking crazy.
All right, we're gonna move on. Can a personal protection dog, Rottweiler, do well in a family home? I'm just asking the question.
Rowdies are my first love, bro. Like, you guys are too fucking young, but I just turned 53, man. There's a movie called The Omen. It's like a 70 horror movie, and there's like these two Rowdies, bro. Like, that's where I fell in love with them. You know, they tend to be, now the modern Rowdy tends to be a fucking punk, bro. Like, much harder on their pack than they are externally on any other fucking bad guy, bro. So you can't generalize a breed either, man. They vary so much, man. You have to evaluate the dog in front of you. You really do. And what does a personal protection mean to this person? Like, there's many different varying degrees of that. And 99.999% of it is a visual deterrent. Like, you cannot put a fucking biter in people's hands, bro. I've done this before, man. I've put real dogs in fucking celebrities' hands or Fortune 100 people. You fucking can't do it, bro. They have chauffeurs and fucking nannies and caretakers and pilots and people coming and going. The nannies are more with a relationship with the fucking dog. They're jet setting all over the world. They see the dog for fucking 2 months out of the year and they expect it's gonna go, and you say so. Like, that shit's a fucking fantasy, man. Did you guys see that video I put out about that Doberman I evaluated?
Yeah.
That shit was funny.
But that, bro, like, people, like, it was funny shit. But really, I took that dog for pet obedience. Like, the dog's over the top reactive, as you saw. And the owner's like, he's going to fucking kill somebody. I'm like, that he won't. So I just, we made that video like that. But that's enough, bro. For most people with ill intentions are going to pick the next house.
Yeah.
So it's the visual deterrent that's important, man. Like, you guys have seen it, bro. How many fucking, like, I've trained with fucking pro athletes, fucking SF operators and stuff, bro. handling a dog is the most humbling fucking experience of your life, bro. Like, they will fucking show you what you don't know. And a lot of people aren't equipped to have that skill set. Like, even the pets that we train, bro, like, it's hard.
That's what I was, yeah.
Yep.
So it's hard for people to get the doodle to maintain fucking place when the FedEx guy knocks on the fucking door, bro.
Exactly.
Let alone a fucking chainsaw.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
I'd say the best protection dog, quote unquote, I have is my Tibetan Mastiff. Like, he's sitting in my office right now. He's curled up on his fucking place cot. He's 130, 140 pounds.
fuck that shit.
He will show you every tooth in his fucking mouth. He's big. He's loud. He will look scary. So, like, he'll bite a sleeve if you fucking prompt him and push him to it. But Sean had to watch him for me for like 2 weeks. And he's like, man, are you sure I'm good? Like, because he'd never really been around him outside. I said, dude, he's a bitch. Straight up, he's a punk. Like, he's just trying to punk you. Like, he's fucking scared of it. That's why he does that. I said, there's no real intent. He does not want to get into it. Best fucking protection dog I ever had, though.
The best fucking alarm dog we ever had, bro, was my wife's Chihuahua, bro. That motherfucker, you'd hear a fucking flea tweet from 10 miles away, bro.
Man. All right. I hate to rush it, honestly, but I'm trying to get through all the questions and be fair to everybody.
No problem.
Let's see. Okay, and this should be a good one. Ask him his best advice on dealing with brass ignoring problems inside the unit. That's probably a whole episode on its own.
That is, bro, but that's a double-edged sword, bro, because
Yeah.
they'll be very quick to boot you the fuck out or disband the unit. If you start bringing receipts with dumb shit that's going on, you open Pandora's box, bro. And most of these fucking agencies now that don't want these dogs biting and they don't want the fucking dogs to begin with. And, you know, the most constant thing in law enforcement's change, bro. So things should be going smooth, and all of a sudden you get that bitch-ass fucking commander, bro, and your world is upside down, and they're looking for reasons, man. Whether they want their fucking boy in there or they want to get rid of the hard chargers. Like, the people that are going to voice the problems are the ones that give a fuck and the ones that are out there doing it, man. And those are a fucking threat to supervisors because they make supervisors do their fucking jobs. And they don't want that. They want to be sitting in fucking Starbucks with a pinky up, sipping the fucking latte and not be fucked with. And if you're out there doing your fucking job, man, you're flirting with felonies every fucking night as a cop. If you're not doing your fucking job, bro. You're walking that line, doing the right shit, being righteous, putting fucking bad guys in jail. You're fucking flirting with felonies all night long. And when these fucking bitch ass supervisors, man, they don't want any of that smoke, bro. Like, I legit, my agency conditions supervisors to break down fucking calls and find ways to not make these calls a crime as fast as fucking possible to put everybody back in service. Like, if the general public knew, like, you talk about this fucking Minnesota fucking daycare fraud, bro. Like, if the general public knew what little their tax-paying money fucking got them, there'd be a fucking outrage, bro. So, yeah, it's you got to be fucking careful, man. At the end of the day, you got to just keep it in mind. It's you with a dog back there and hunting fucking bad guys, and all the other shit gets in the way of that. If it's a training issue that you can't solve in-house, do it on the fucking download, bro, and don't say shit. Go fix the fucking problem, find qualified people if possible. If it's life-threatening, bro, if it's putting you in a bad spot, you got to talk about it, but just know they look for fucking reasons to get rid of the problem maker. The troublemaker.
Don't say anything on that one. I'm still.
Yeah, I was going to say, you're so active. Don't say shit.
No.
Yeah, no, John's still in the department.
A part of my fucking, bro, my latest fucking mission, like, I go through these waves of shit that I double down on social about certain topics, whether it's dog. Like, my latest thing is fratricide in law enforcement, man. Blue on blue. Killing our own, bro. And a buddy of mine just got out of prison, bro. And I've been talking about this. This podcast just came out, and the fucking crimes that were committed against him that destroyed his career, his business, fucking he's coming out 10 times stronger, bro. But it is a fucking epidemic what we do to each other, man. And
that was insane. I didn't know any of that. I remember when that whole BlackRock thing happened, and I remember hearing like whispers about it, and you see like stuff like news posts. But when you came out and kind of put out what happened, I was like, it's insane.
But when I tell you, like, a very systematic, strategic, multi-agency attack on this dude, bro. Like, he had a lawsuit going against his agency for some dumb shit that they did. So he was hunted by his own agency. Obviously, this fucking cat did what he did to him, hitting those 3-letter federal agencies to get him, bro. But when I tell you, And I love the dude, but I trust but confirm. So I fucking dove into the probable cause. I dove into the warrants. When I tell you there is no fucking probable cause from an incredible witness, bro, not a non-credible fucking witness, it's crazy the path that shit took, man. And the fucking media, bro. And this is why I love shit like this. Like, we are the fucking media now. We have the tools, we have the leverage and the platform to fucking debunk their fucking lies. And that's my latest mission, man.
That's good. That whole situation was insane. I still got to finish listening to the podcast he did with Gary.
And it's what happened to me on a much smaller scale. The same shit, bro. The same fucking, like, the same kind of mentality happened to me. And I'm very blessed to travel and train this country coast to coast and work with hundreds and hundreds of teams. It's the same fucking story, bro. Just the patches change. It's everywhere. It is a fucking epidemic, and nobody can talk. And not to go down this rabbit hole, bro. Like, another part of my mission, like, I talk shit, but I want solutions, bro. I want to have some real shit to dig into to solve these problems. And the biggest thing, bro, is fucking health insurance. They got you by the balls. Like, now, like, where I come from in Palm Beach County, when Trump's in town, bro, like, these dudes make $300K a year as cops, 200 chilling, 300 with a hustle. They make, and there's other jobs in this world you can make that flow, but when you got to separate from an agency and you got to tap into Cobra for insurance, it fucking cripples families. And that's why you take the shit from these fucking crooked ass admins. You go in a fucking hole, hope that you can resurface years later. But it's the health insurance why they got you by the fucking balls, man. So I need some billionaire patriot, bro, to have some type of health insurance company where a cop can fucking maintain the same group rate, go to another agency, switch careers, but not have a lapse in insurance. And then it gives us the fucking leverage to be a voice, man.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, so I'm not, embedded with like police stuff and all that stuff. So I see what you're saying now. If you switch agencies, then, you have a lap, or you could have a potential gap in insurance.
You're on probation, so they can fuck you. And it's like 90 days before insurance kicks in, bro. Like, so that's where they get.
That's fucking insane, dude.
That's where they get you by the balls, bro. You can't leave.
Yeah, it's good to say you're shackled in that shit. 100%. I mean, unless you're willing to roll the dice.
Exactly.
Yeah, I didn't know that, so that's news to me. John, do you have a question? If not, we have a longer one.
I think you pretty much hit on most of the ones that these handlers had. A lot of them kind of lap over the same things or things you already answered. One that they're struggling with, and I'm sure you see this everywhere, is verbal out at a distance without an e-collar.
Yeah. No. Like, here's the problem, bro. Like, I know folks in the military, that's another one of my missions, bro, is to be able to get e-collars being utilized in different branches of the military. I know the SF crew can do whatever the fuck they want. There's some branches that can, but that's part of my mission, is to get in front of the right decision maker, bro, to make that shit fucking happen, man. So, but long story short, man, like, not using an e-collar when you have access to it is just setting yourself up for fucking failure. Why not? Like, because here's what happens, man. And I talk about auditory exclusion a lot. And in my experience in life, I was in a shooting years ago. I talk about with my last dog, and dude fucking charged me with a 14-inch knife, bro. I sprayed and prayed, dumped my magazine. It's a 40 caliber round from here to here. I never heard one fucking round, because God has hardwired us with this ability to involuntarily channel the energy into our senses for survival and hypervigilance, man. So that's a pretty high stakes kind of running and gunning kind of scenario. Here's another one, bro. Like, if I'm sitting at my kitchen counter trying to edit some videos or block a motherfucker, and my wife starts talking to me, like, it's so difficult, this tech shit, for me to figure shit out, bro. Like, I can't fucking hear her. I don't have the ability to be all in on my phone and fucking hear her until she slaps me in the back of the fucking head. So when a dog is fighting with a fucking bad guy, when a pet dog is chasing a fucking cat across a busy ass street, yes, many times their fucking tail looks like a middle finger and they're telling you to fuck off as they're running from you. But many times they're so deeply ingrained, their sensory mechanism is completely overwhelmed that they don't fucking hear you because of auditory exclusion. So to not utilize that tool when you're allowed to me, you're fucking yourself. Why?
Yeah, it's insane. All right. This one is kind of a longer message. I'm going to try to condense it down a bit. So we have a 4-year-old German Shepherd, rescued about a year ago. worked an insane amount of reactivity, stress, and overall mental turmoil. She's doing amazing. There we go. Okay. So as I'm reading this, essentially the problem is she's trying to give that outlet to the dog, and the dog's, anytime it misses on a flirt pole, on a rag or something like that, it basically redirects and goes for a bicep bite of some capacity. Even if she does straight lines, slow pace, or fast, she rarely goes for the tug itself. I've tried multiple methods to help break her of this, but this one issue that I've had is pretty rough. So she just wants any pointers that you could give.
Couple ways to approach it, man. So what most likely happened, it's human nature, bro. She's flirt poling, miss. The dog fucking gets her. She drops the pole. And the dog learns, oh, that's the path to get it, as I just fuck you up, or I make you my own little decoy. And the dog finds some type of biological fulfillment fucking with her. So there's a couple ways to approach it, right? So first things first, keep yourself safe. And the things I'm going to discuss here may fucking put the dog in a path where the dog will never bite a suit. So I don't know the dog's end goal, but what I would do is put a suit on, have her put a suit on so she's safe, right? Do the flirt pole shit, condition the e-collar separately. And as the dog says, fuck the flirt pole, I'm coming from you, have that conversation electronically. And this way, in the suit, she's protected. She's not going to give those vibes where she's like yipping and becoming prey and giving into the dog's aggression, which is satisfying to the animal. If it's a little bit of a softer dog and she's not like fucking murking her, like ripping open skin, or maybe she can put on some gauntlets underneath, like some padded, like a hoodie or something, and take an all-purpose spray bottle with a really good fucking beam that's like some shit from Home Depot. It's almost like a fire extinguisher, and put straight lemon juice in that shit. And when she tries to come up at her, fucking make her smell like citronella fucking candle, bro, and drown her, like waterboard her with fucking lemon juice. Like try to get it right in her mouth. Be careful of the eyes. I know it's hard because of the movement. That can be very aversive to a lot of fucking dogs. And we use that sometimes keeping dogs quiet during building search announcements or other applications where we need them to stop barking. It can really change a dog's brain. You'd be surprised. So other than that, just as far as like double handling the dog, putting another slip lead on it so someone's helping, it's hard because of all the movement and the misses with the flirt poles. I think those two would probably help her. If it persists and it's like the dog's becoming fucking dangerous, you got to find another I would fucking put on a suit, end it with a fucking e-collar, and move on, find another game because it's counterproductive. And whoever that person is, like take a video of what's going on and send it to me, because there may be some things that she's doing in her movement that's really creating it and causing it.
Right.
It may be minimal. Again, there's a lot of things I don't know about the setup. So if that person wants to DM me, if I haven't fucking blocked them, if I have, there's no hope for that.
Okay, you can send the video to us. We'll send it to Justin. We'll channel the feedback back and forth. We'll do that one. That's funny. Real quick, I know I had there's a lot that I actually wanted to ask, but I didn't expect this to go as long as it did. One thing, Justin, for you, I know you're a very big advocate for whatever they call it now, balance training and all that good stuff,
Yep.
right? And the force free. Recently, I just got wind of, I want to say 20, 24, 25, one of them in the last 2 years. I want to say it was San Francisco. They were entertaining, like banning some type of tool ban of some capacity. Is there things that you're hearing or things that you're being a part of as far as to combat, the tool banning or anything that you could speak to?
Yeah, always, bro. And, there's probably a small percentage of those people that believe that you can train a dog with fucking cookies and treats and love. And I wish that was the case, honestly. But a lot of it's a money grab. So there's an organization with very deep pockets and a loud voice called the International Association of Animal Behavior Consultants. And it sounds like a really sexy organization, but what they are is force-free fakes. And it says in their fucking bylaws, they do not want their membership guaranteeing results to their clients. And you think about that for a second, bro, because it's an ultimate money grab. It's really what it comes down to, is a fucking money grab. If there's no guarantee of results, they're going to continue to gouge these clients for money and money and money, tapping into their emotion of the creature. And they're selling this lie that the dog can be trained with just simply cookies and treats and redirecting it and a gentle leader and all that shit, bro. It's just not nature. It's not how that shit works, man. Like, you look at any pack, pod, herd, any pride, any group, social setting of animals, or humans, there is fucking consequences. There's a hierarchy. There's consequences for unwanted behavior. We're going to use violence and aggression to establish those things, but it has to be fucking fair and well timed. It has to be appropriate. So this is a rabbit hole I go down a lot because they are trying to ban tools, and it happened in Hillsborough County, Florida, which is this Tampa area, several years ago, and they put the brakes on. I think last year or maybe 2 years ago now, that almost happened in New Jersey, and a lot of balanced trainers that fucking hate each other put that shit to the side, got together, and made a voice and made sense. And we have to educate the lay person, bro. It's not us that we have to convince. We're balanced trainers. We understand the benefit. Like, pressure is mystical for a dog's evolution if it's done right. I do my best work under pressure. I've seen dogs just evolve and become mature, and life makes sense with pressure. It's nature. It's how life works. It's not you and I that we have to convince. It's the layperson, man, because the layperson is the pet client, but they're also the jury. They're also the fucking lawmakers. They're also the judges that will sign these documents to strip us from our fucking tools. And the other part of these force-free fakes, by not guaranteeing results, they never have to evolve beyond the bullshit that they preach. For me, continuing education, like, I'm addicted to this shit, but I love learning new shit. But you have to continue to evolve and learn new shit, because as technology changes, as the dogs change, as the fucking humans change, bro, we have to change with the tide, or we get left behind and fucking drown, bro. So if there's no guaranteed results, there's nothing compelling these force-free fakes to fucking evolve as trainers. They can stay in the same dumb fucking monotony that they preach, and bullshit, man.
All right. As I'm really enjoying this episode and listening to everything you put out, and so they know me and Sean have both listened to you for a while. We got to get you back on, because we started the podcast, yes, to help other people and kind of put the information out there.
Yeah.
But we took everybody else's question. I think me and Sean would love to ask you some more personal questions, kind of stuff that's relevant to us. But we're selfish like that sometimes. But they got to do this again.
All right. So Justin, anything coming up? I know you stay busy. Anything that you want to plug in or whatever that's going on right now with you, the latest and greatest?
Yeah, man. COVID, the greatest human fucking experiment of all time, like, taught us a lot of shit. And one of the things was the need and the opportunity for e-learning, man. So I've been doing a lot of that shit, man. I just put out an e-collar ebook. And there's also videos that can be purchased. The e-collar ebook's free. There's videos that can be purchased. I'm systematically doing like every topic that I know. Today I almost finished a ebook on reactivity, which will be free. There'll be support videos following that. I've got a few classes on DIYcanine.com. Eric and I and Ronnie did a class, the Trilogy of Aggression, Bark Fence, Boogeyman, Power Biting. My tracking class drops anytime with DIY Canine. I also have a class that's called Theories and Principles of Modern Dog Training, which for me, it's all things dogs, man. Everything, every avenue of dog training that I've ever learned. It's an 8-hour class. That's one of the topics that I teach a lot when I'm on the road. Eric and I have a class coming up at the end of February in Nashville. It's power and control. It's going to be bark fence and the bite stuff. I do have another class coming up near Denver in March. And I'm actually trying to slow my roll with travel a little bit, man. Now I have an e-collar class coming up next weekend, or Thursday, Friday, Saturday. This Thursday, Friday, Saturday coming in New Carlisle, Indiana. So the e-collar class is coming, man. So again, just chipping away on my e-learning platform. The ultimate goal for me is to do an in-person dog training school where people come to me and want to learn everything from A to Z.
All right. Well, we'll go ahead and wrap it up. Justin, again, man, we appreciate it. Like John said, we have some questions that we'd like to ask for our personal gain. So we'll do it in hopes, we'll do this again in hopes that somebody gets something out of it. But yeah, we appreciate everything. That'll be another episode of Working Dogs and Whiskey, excuse me. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, whatever platform you hear it on. Give us a like, or Justin might block you. That could be it.
Death sentence. Digital death sentence.
Nah, brother, we appreciate it, man.
You guys, take care.
All right.
You too.